Soccer Buddies, my name is Sarah and I'm the official craft instructor here at the Pink Locker Society. Welcome to my class. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to make a bandana purse. For materials you will need one bandana, a pair of scissors, some wide ribbon for the handles, and either a sewing machine or a needle and thread. Buttons, decorative trim, thin ribbon, and or rickrack are optional. First you're going to need your bandana. It can be any color or pattern. It may have a lot of creases. If you want to get rid of them, you can iron it, only if the tag says so, and you might want to have an adult's help. Then you need to decide if you're going to hand sew or use a sewing machine. To hand sew, you're going to take a needle, pretty much any size you would like, and take some thread. Stick the thread into the eye of the needle, which is the opening in the top. Then make sure the needle's down to the center of the thread and the two ends are at the top. You're going to want a much longer piece of thread than I have here, but don't worry, if you run out you can always add more. Then tie a few knots at the top. You want this knot to be big enough so it won't slide through the fabric while you're sewing. I'm going to demonstrate on the sewing machine, but either method of sewing will get you the same results in the end. Your first step is to take your bandana and fold it in half. Now your bandana may have a bold pattern on one side and a faded pattern on the other. This is called your right side and the faded side is called the wrong side. Go ahead and fold the pattern side to face each other, and your wrong side is going to face out. Then you're going to sew lengthwise down this entire edge. You may want to get an adult to help you with the sewing machine because it can be really confusing if you haven't used it before. Place your bandana under the presser foot, then bring your presser foot down, bring the needle down into the fabric, and begin to sew. You'll also want to do a back stitch to secure the ends. As you can probably see, my edges aren't lined up correctly, but that's because the bandana isn't a perfect square, so I'm going to trim it off at the end. Then pull off the thread and cut. And trim off any fabric that doesn't line up on the edges. Just don't cut too close to the thread. At this point, your piece should look like this. The next step is to turn this piece inside out. Now the right side of your fabric will be showing. Now lay your piece out on the table with the seam going down the middle. Fold it in half, keeping the seam on the outside. Go ahead and sew down the entire length of this side and this side. At this point, here's what your piece should look like. Take this and turn it inside out. So now you can't see your first seam, it's inside, and there are two seams on the sides. Your next step is to get rid of this raw edge at the top. Fold it down all the way around, and then you're going to sew it all the way around, about 3/4 of an inch from the top. In order to sew around the entire top of your purse, you should probably remove this part of your sewing machine if it has that option. The next step is to add ribbon for the handle. It's best to have ribbon that's about 1 inch or 2 wide. I cut 2 pieces of ribbon to the same length, one for each side. Take one piece of ribbon and sew the ends to one side of the bag, and then take the other piece and do the same for the other side of the bag. Before you sew your ribbon onto the fabric, you should fold it over 2 times to hide the frays on the ends. Sew the ribbon onto the fabric with the loop facing down. Try to follow the stitch that you already made along the top in the previous steps and go back and forth over this line a few times to secure the ribbon in place. Repeat this step 3 more times. Trim off any loose threads that are hanging off. If you want to decorate your bag at all, you can add decorative trim, rickrack, or another type of ribbon. So at the top you could just sew it all the way around how you sewed the seam. You can sew a button on for decoration too. You'll have to sew your button on by hand. Take your needle and thread and start sewing it onto the fabric. You're going to sew up through one hole of the button and down through another. Repeat this a few times. Then, if you want to make your button into a closure, make a little ribbon loop on the back, and then the ribbon loop will go around the button like this. There are many ways to make a closure for a purse, You can use a zipper, Velcro, snaps, buttons, and there you have it, a completed bandana purse. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, feel free to leave a comment or send a message. Also, check out the official Pink Locker Society website. And if you want to know when new videos are posted to this channel, please subscribe. Class is dismissed. Peace, love, and pink. See you guys soon.